Max Rand B. put together just an absolute stellar post last week. He says, I'm angry that white middle-class males support a Republican Party.
Okay, Hartman, 2 questions. What drugs are you on, and why haven't you shared with the rest of us?
That has done nothing but shatter their lives.
You mean like by destroying their jobs with things like minimum wage and the inflation tax?
Send their kids off to endless war.
Funny how leftists are only anti-war when a Republican is in charge.
Wreck their labor rights, screwed their wages, and told their mothers, wives, sisters, daughters, and granddaughters that they aren't smart enough and emotionally secure enough to control their own health care.
Funny, because I see you people as the ones wanting to control other people's health care. Republicans aren't great about any of these issues, but it's amazing how you all keep trying to paint yourselves as saviors of the poor and working class when all you want to do is control them. Like you just said with unions, their labor rights should mean they can join a union if they want to. But that is not what you and your ilk keep doing. You continually pass law after law after law to force people to join unions. And for the record, unions have a terrible track record when it comes to fighting for workers' rights. They fight to benefit their workers, not workers as a whole. No one who has looked at history could possibly be convinced by this diatribe. And yet, Hartman thinks it's good enough to be read out on air.
I'm pissed that they put Ronald Reagan into office twice.
Oh, you'd rather we had the economy we had before, of double-digit inflation, wage and price controls, an energy crisis, and all sorts of things that Reagan was able to put an end to and improve this country tremendously? I mean, he wasn't perfect. He still bloated the size of government and sent deficits through the ceiling, but it was a lot better than what he came into.
Believing that it was their social safety net and economic protections and not the profits of the 1% that had become bloated and ineffective.
Wow, this is like ultra-high density bullcrap here. This is just a long string of long debunked assertions and talking points that don't match reality.
I'm upset that they declared their enemy to be the firefighter who lives down the street.
See, I don't even know what you're talking about now. Most Republicans I know love firefighters. Shoot, a lot of them are firefighters. When was the last time you grabbed a hose and ran into a burning building?
These are unionized workers, of course. See, he's talking about the white men who support the Republican Party. That they've declared their enemy to be the firefighter who lives down the street, the teacher who teaches their kids, or the government financial management analyst who coaches their kids at Little League Baseball.
Show these declarations or shut your lying mouth.
Simply because those Americans have a decent pension and benefits package. I'm extremely ticked off that they don't ask instead, why do my benefits and retirement plans suck so much?
Why is someone else responsible for your retirement? Do what the rest of us do. Save up for your own freaking retirement. It's not like it's hard. Put some into an S&P 500 fund, some more into bonds, get some gold, and the rest in a good money market account. By the way, this would be a lot easier if you weren't taking 15% of our paycheck so that your wonderful government can manage our own retirements for us, which means that we're actually making a lot less than we would in a good portfolio. And in fact, if you're unfortunate enough to be black, you're actually losing money on the matter.
I'm perturbed that they don't realize that 400 years of slavery...
I think you mean 8,000 years of slavery. Amazing how so many people think there was no slavery at all anywhere in the world until white man came to the Americas. And who was it that was supporting slavery anyway? Was it the Democrats or the Republicans? Every time I read history, I see the Democrats as the one keeping slaves and the Republicans being the ones who free them.
Followed by 150 years of state-sanctioned racism and discrimination in housing, employment, education, law enforcement, voting.
Yeah, funny how it was the progressives doing that. Democrats did it and Republicans were against it. And you're still in favor of those racist eugenicist policies. Minimum wage, gun control, state-mandated unions, zoning, progressive income tax, central banking and inflation, Social Security, on and on and on. All of these were cooked up by the eugenicists to keep undesirable groups down. See, this is why you have to keep spewing screeds like this one. You have to keep pretending that other people are racist so people don't realize it's you.
Mobility might have something to do with some folks being mired in abject poverty.
Funny how black families actually had good upward mobility before your wonderful great society.
I'm friggin' apocalyptic that the white...
You're apocalyptic? Are you sure you don't mean apoplectic? Or are you really thinking it's the end of the world here?
Middle class watched 5- and 6-year-olds get their blanking brains blown out and their torsos blown in half by military-grade weapons and ammunition magazines.
Excuse me? Who allowed that by passing all those gun restrictions? Funny how we never seem to have these mass shootings at gun shows. How come you morons never seem to want to respond to that? Also, I'm going to link to my video showing that we don't have more mass shootings than European countries once you account for population.
And allowed some LaPierre asshat to convince them that we shouldn't do one reasonable thing to make this mass murder a little harder to carry out.
But you're not making it harder to carry out. I'm going to have to cite yet more studies, aren't I? And this one isn't from some wonky libertarian think tank or anything like that. It's from the Department of Justice and their 2016 survey of prison inmates. That's from when Obama was president, so you can't even blame it on Trump. According to the study, 21% of all state and federal prisoners had a firearm when they committed the offense for which they were serving time. Most of them did not get their guns legally, not in any way that any gun control measure would have stopped. In fact, 90% of them didn't even get it from any retail source. 6% stole it, 7% found it at a crime scene, and 43% got it from the black market. That's already 56%, more than half. In fact, all total, only 7% of prisoners who used a gun to commit their crime got it from a retail source. As for how many got it at a gun show, that was only 0.8%. And as much as they like crowing about so-called assault rifles, when real assault rifles are fully automatic and not available to the public, the fact is most crimes aren't committed with rifles of any kind. Most prisoners who used a gun to commit a crime did it with handguns. Only 0.8% of all prisoners used a rifle to commit their crimes.
That's all we're asking. Just make killing massive amounts of people just a little bit harder.
As I've shown over and over and over again, you can make it way harder for them with an armed citizenry. When an armed citizen is present, the average number of people killed in a mass shooting drops to around 2, compared to over 14 when stopped by police. I don't have to link to that again, do I? Also, get rid of gun-free zones, because we've seen over and over again that mass shooters specifically look for areas where people aren't armed, or aren't likely to be.
Instead, they listen to this ass pickle from the NRA, who they know in their heart of hearts would be the first unmentionable word to turn tail and run in a bar fight.
Gotta love the personal attacks. And this is a personal attack he doesn't even know is true. That's a sure sign he has nothing.
White Republican men admitting that they've been played like fools for the past 30 years would require them to blame themselves, and they're way too cowardly to do that.
Sounds like blatant projection to me. When we have the data on our side, and all you have are talking points, baseless assertions, and ad hominem attacks, it seems like you're the ones who are being played for fools.
They'll just blame the liberals, the hippies, the dope smokers, and the gays.
Well, you guys are the ones passing gun control laws, as well as laws like minimum wage that inhibit the economy and destroy jobs, all policies that, as I've shown repeatedly, were part of the eugenics movement.
These asshats, mostly making between $42,000 and $47,000 a year, with a crummy 401k and bare-bones health benefits.
Do you see the contempt that lefties really have for the working class? Oh, they'll try to kowtow to them in order to preserve their big unions that slough them with far more money than the Koch brothers ever gave. But when you really look at what they think about them, it's all disgust and contempt. That's everything you need to know. Hey, thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe and keep these videos coming by donating, becoming a subscriber and getting special benefits, or even for free with airtime. And check out all the great content here, like this video selected just for you.